So the time has finally come for us, and actually it was very unexpected. Nobody knew when this case would be finalized and done. It seems like as if it's taken a long time for this to happen. It's been roughly around about 4 years now, even a little bit longer to be honest with you in general. So XRP holders, the great news that I have is coming directly from Brad Garlinghouse. He posted this video on X yesterday, and just to show you how much influence this is going to have over the crypto community, it has 10 million views as of yesterday. It's literally been a day now, 24 hours so far, and we've got this. So he said that this is it, the moment we've been waiting for. The SEC will drop its appeal, a resounding victory for Ripple, for crypto. Everywhere you look at it, the future is bright, let's build. Again, this is something that we could not have predicted at all for this whole year, even at the end of the year. Now let's have a look to see what he says within this video.
As many of you know, just over 4 years ago, the United States SEC filed its lawsuit against Ripple. I'm finally able to announce that this case has ended. It's over. Sitting here today and reflecting on 4 years ago, it seems very clear to me that this case was doomed from the start. In so many ways, it was the first major shot fired in the war on crypto. I truly felt like I knew then that Ripple was not only on the right side of the law, but I felt that we were also going to be proven to be on the right side of history. It really, I think, sends an ominous sign for innovation around cryptocurrency in the United States. Picking winners in general has not been something the U.S. government should be in the business of doing. I think the judge realizes this is not just about Ripple. This will have broader implications. As Mary Jo White, the former head of the SEC, has said publicly that she views this as a dead wrong, and the SEC is dead wrong on this decision. Ripple is the first company with the resources, determination, and grit to fight back against the agency's overreach. And today, this journey finally concludes. Today is a victory and a long overdue surrender by the SEC. The SEC, under Chairman Gary Gensler, went after the whole industry, using the same arguments they used against us.
Again, what I want to make it really clear is that the SEC before was broken. Those lawyers that were within the SEC were basically attacking every single crypto firm that we had. It was absolutely outrageous, and a lot of people saw that within the crypto community in general. So again, this is a big win for us.
They weren't out to protect investors. They were out to intimidate and terrorize. The regulator, whose primary purpose is to protect investors, went all in on a non-fraud, victimless lawsuit and wiped out $15 billion of value from innocent XRP holders. The SEC was the market manipulator. The SEC wasn't seeking justice. They were seeking to win a case at any cost. Forces inside our government aligned with the SEC and embarked on a campaign of debanking anyone associated with the crypto industry. This was lawfare, a war of legal terror. Fortunately, the judge rebuked the SEC multiple times in this journey. First, for lacking a, quote, faithful allegiance to the law. The SEC was sanctioned in our case for discovery abuses, and the pattern was repeated in other crypto cases.
Well, let's just say they're trying to confuse you.
We won then on every critical legal point, proving that the digital asset XRP is not a security. That is not.
And this is the whole point of the lawsuit. We wanted to be able to prove that XRP was not security. And again, it goes to show like as if we have now got this lawsuit dropped. But where from here, right? This is what I really want to know. Where do we go? Is it clear cut as it is? Is it a clean slate? Will we be starting over? Because what I want to know is that Judge Torres last year in 2024, he actually fined Ripple for its violations of $125 million. So does this mean that now the SEC has dropped its case, that Ripple will no longer be liable for that $125 million fine? I can't really seem to find anything on there. But what I do know is that this could possibly be taken to the Supreme Court as well. So again, it is pretty much early days with this news. We need to find out whether or not we're going to be paying this fine in general. And over here, coming in from the Chief Legal Officer, Stuart, we have that today Ripple moves forward stronger than ever. This landmark case set a precedent for the domestic crypto industry, which I fully agree. It just means that we will be regulated fairly and realistically going forward. With the SEC dropping its appeal, Ripple is now in the driver's seat and will evaluate how best to pursue our cross appeal. So again, regardless, today is a day to celebrate this victory. So yes, it is a victory, but they're still going to be having a look with their appeal in general. So I think that there still is more to come, guys. over here we have from Mr. Man that the ball is now in Ripple's court since the SEC has removed their appeal. Does this mean that of course Ripple can then challenge the SEC for basically tainting their reputation for the past couple of years, right? It put off a lot of people from their investment, and it even seemed like as if that Ripple, what they were doing themselves, was basically fraudulent. And these are the allegations that we have to deal with. So let's take a look at what Brad has said.
Abandoned their appeal, and so they filed suit in December of 2020. We won on the key parts of the case in the summer of 23. Judge Torres made a ruling that XRP in and of itself was not a security. That's almost a verbatim quote. The SEC filed an appeal about 8 months ago, and what they've now agreed is they're going to drop that appeal. We still have a cross appeal pending, and so we go from being defendant really to plaintiff. So we now are in the driver's seat to determine how we want to proceed.
Are you dropping it?
We're gonna see. It feels a lot better to be on the offense than the defense. You know, in 4 years we spent over $150 million defending that case, not just for Ripple but for the whole industry. I think it was really important that this SEC, the Gensler SEC, was really trying to bully and continue lawfare, filing lawsuits against crypto companies. That's over now, and I think that's great for the U.S. crypto industry, and frankly, great for crypto at large. But I mean, at this point, all we're fighting for is, do we want to fight to get the $125 million back? Look, I'll be honest. Would I have walked away from that before they appealed? Before President Trump put Paul Atkins and Scott Bessent and David Sachs as critical, key, very smart leaders in this industry to bring this industry back on shore? I would have walked away. Now you look at that, you're like, this case in this SEC never would have been brought. And so where we find ourselves is, great, there's a clear legal victory to say XRP is not a security. That was good for the industry. But there's pieces of it that we think could be kind of cleaned up. And the question is, do we want to fight that fight, or can we come to an agreement with the SEC to drop everything?
And this is the next stage, right? So we know that they've already put down $150 million towards this lawsuit. A lot of money, guys. And this is the thing. Are they going to continue with it, or are they not? I personally think that they probably could. I know they obviously have the green light. They could potentially move on and move forward. But again, I think that the SEC does need to be held accountable for all of their actions. And so it will be good if Ripple do then take this further on with the SEC. But it just is a lot of money that unfortunately Ripple have lost out on. So now that we've had the piece of news, and of course everyone has been talking about it, does this mean that XRP token has now skyrocketed? Well, I wouldn't necessarily say skyrocketed, but we have gained quite a bit. So we are currently trading at $2.50, which is pretty nice, as we are usually at $2.36. But some people would think that this piece of news would cause it to skyrocket and maybe go to $5. And this is the reason why I used to say before that once we have this case solved, it doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to see this price just absolutely go on the run. And again, I think also the reason as to why this is still not going on the run is mainly because of the fact that it still isn't clear cut. Yes, the SEC has dropped the case, still pretty good. So we may see a bit of an increase in the next couple of days. However, we still need that clear cut answer from Brad Garlinghouse as to whether or not they're going to pursue the appeal. And if they do, and they're able to succeed the SEC and prove that obviously the SEC were wrong, then I think that we're probably going to see a bit more price action over there. But again, and maybe with this piece of news, we might see in the next week that it could possibly go up to $3. I just don't think that we're going to be seeing a massive jump up. On the 1 week, we are up by 8.8%, which is nice. So we're doing pretty green. And again, you can see we've had a massive jump up from $2.24 to $2.50. In terms of price action though, I'm very happy for XRP to just trade above that $2 line. On the 1 month, we are down by only 2.4%. But again, you can see over here that we're making some nice gains. The volume has doubled, so it is at 8 billion so far. Good trading volume, and obviously expected with the piece of news that we had.